mate, we're gonna go actually work on the stop. You know, reining horses are famous for the sliding stop. You know, the horse's hind feet are up by his front feet are pedaling, his head's down, he's relaxed. A great sliding stop is very dramatic. It's impressive, it's dramatic, it's powerful, okay? And that's kind of the hallmark signature look for a reining horse, is that sliding stop. You know, the NRHA trophies are all a horse sliding to a stop. So I've been working on his stops now for probably about 2 months, okay? And you just don't go from loping them around to galloping down the arena and saying, whoa, okay? You've got to kind of build up that. He's still relatively green, and speed's not the name of the game with him. What I'm trying to do is just get a good, what you do is you get him solid at, say, 5 miles an hour stopping. When that's really good, then you jump it up to 7 miles an hour and get him good at 7. And once that's good, 90 days from him, you jump him up to 9, and you keep slowly building. You just don't go from 5 miles an hour to 10 overnight, okay? So there's basically 3 elements to get a reining horse to stop, parts to the stop. You've got the rundown, and you've got the sliding stop itself. So you've got the rundown, let me say it like this. You've got the rundown to the stop, and then you've got the actual stop as the execution, the stop. So I suppose there's 2 parts, not 3. So here's the deal. If they're not running correctly, they won't stop correctly. Okay, so what is the overriding thing is the rundown. If the rundown's bad, what do I mean by bad? If the horse is leaning left or right, as he's running down the arena, horses can lean to the gate or they lean to the barn. If the horse is going too fast, if the horse is going too slow, if the horse is not engaged behind, there's a million things that can go wrong in a rundown. Anything that's wrong with the rundown, you must fix that before you ask the horse to stop. Because if the rundown's crappy, there's a really, really good chance the stop's gonna be crappy. So big stopping horses can still stop really well, even if they're not running the greatest. But if you let them run badly a lot, they get really good at running badly. Horses get good at whatever they practice. So I'm gonna try to work on stops now, but at the same time, if I don't like what he's doing in the rundown, I'm gonna fix that, I'm gonna forget the stop, if that makes sense to everybody, okay? So let's just kind of begin, and I'll just kind of talk to you. And I realize a lot of the stuff that I'm going over here, I'm not going into tons of detail on it. That's for our, you know, we have, I'm filming performance horse DVDs right now, and they go into a lot more detail. Titan, we're just kind of going over his general training, but we're not getting into real particulars of all the maneuvers. Lope him off, make sure he's soft in my hands. Okay. Squeeze. Right here, he feels like he's setting up on me. What do I mean by setting up? He's kind of looking at the sun. I felt like he was looking at the sun on the dirt just there, sunlight coming through. He felt like he had the handbrake on. So I'm gonna go lope and go try that again. Whoa. Boy. Straighten him up a little bit there. A little bit off to the right. Very important, whatever straight line you come in on, you stop on that straight line. So even though he's deaf, I still say whoa anyway. I just say whoa, and I don't want to pick up on his face if he's stopping pretty good, but if I don't feel like he's committed entirely, I'm going to draw on his face and put a little more pressure on him, put his butt in the ground. Titan has a lot of natural stop, okay? So I don't have to draw on his face a lot to get him to stop. Main thing I have to work on him is his rundown. Because he's a lazy horse, and most big stopping horses, you don't really work on stop much. You actually spend more time working on the rundown because they either want to set up on you. Set up means, is kind of what he did back over there, is he ran down there and he just didn't want to keep building that speed all the way to the stop. So I'm not trying to gallop him real fast. Again, he's still relatively green, but I'm just staying at this speed until I build his confidence. So usually at the end of the stop, I might back him around a little bit, just work on some of my backup, okay? So what I try to do is I get 3 good stops on one lead, and then once I'm happy with 3 good stops, then I'll get 3 good stops on the other lead. For some reason I find when I just stay on one lead and get it kind of something taught on that horse's brain, then I go to the other lead, I get more done, as opposed to, okay, that's a right lead, now it's a left lead, now it's a right. I find that, at least for me, they seem to catch on better when I stay on the correct lead, or in the same lead, I suppose, not correct, same lead, 2 or 3 times and get a little bit of a habit formed. They seem to catch on better when I stay on the correct lead, or in the same lead, I suppose, not correct, same lead, 2 or 3 times and get a little bit of a habit formed. So I squeeze, he can't hear me cluck, so I've got to squeeze with my leg. Whoa. Now right there he kind of bowed out just a little bit more at the end of that stop. He kind of pushed that rib out. So I kind of made him stand up a little bit there. So when he stops pretty good, I give him a little rest there. Let him think that he got something out of that. So because he was pushing his shoulder out to the right, I'm going to back him in a straight line, but I'm going to move that shoulder over here to the left and just remind him to get soft. Pick that shoulder up. So that was the second stop on the right lead. Let me get one more, and if I do, then I'll try the left lead. Again, even though I'm trying to work on his stop, if there's any part of the rundown that's not working for me, that supersedes the stop. Or a little bit pushed off to the right, not too bad. So he's not sliding a very long way, but he is attacking the ground. Like I can hear that ground squealing a little bit. He's pushing hard. He seems good with his front end. He's only got 3/4 plates on. In another couple of months, we'll put him in an inch tapered toe, which is a toe that has an inch at the top of the shoe, and then it tapers down to 3/4. And then depending on how he does with that shoe, I may increase it, I may not. Some of the big stopping horses, if you put too much shoe on them, what do I mean by too much shoe? A sliding plate too big. See, the wider a sliding plate is, the slipperier the shoe is. The narrower the sliding plate, the more grip it has, basically, traction. So if you've got a horse that's naturally a big stopper, and you put too much shoe on him, it's kind of like when we walk on ice. Like when you're going out to your car and it's icy and you're slipping and sliding, you're very nervous about walking on the pavement because you don't want to slip and fall on your ass, okay? Well, if you get too much shoe on a reining horse, they get more nervous to stop because they can't control their feet as well. You know, so too much shoe will cause a lot of damage. You're better off having too little shoe than too much shoe. So he did pretty good there, but because he leant out to the right, I'm just going to go and turn him around just a little bit, not real aggressive, to the left, and just make him think this way a little bit. So again, he's not sliding very far. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about when I say the word and I release my legs, you better stick your ass in the ground, please. So let's see what he does on this lead. Titan has a big stop on him. He is just naturally a big stopping horse, okay? There's not a doubt in my mind he's gonna run down there and be stylish and look cool doing it. I've only started stopping him, you know, just recently, really. But the trick to it is build his confidence, don't run him too fast, don't scare him, and take your time with him. So I work on the rundown of the stop, you know, at least 3-4 days a week. I don't always stop him, you know, I don't stop him more than twice a week. But I work on the rundown quite a bit, meaning that I'm getting him to run relaxed, getting him to run confident, getting him to run soft and bridled up, getting him to run straight. Horses like Titan, the stop is not what you really work on, it's the rundown to the stop. Now other horses that don't have as much natural stop as Titan, you're gonna have to stop them a lot more because the stop's not on their brain. Horses like Titan, they're so eager to stop, like, can we stop, can we stop, can we stop? You're always doing this, we're not stopping today, we're not stopping today, we're not stopping today. And finally on the third day, you're like, okay, let's stop. And it's like, you know, that when you, I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but those big stopping horses, they just attack the ground and they make the ground squeal. Like when the shoe rubs on the base of the arena, it makes this squealing sound, and it's like the coolest feeling in the world. It's, you know, when you hear that sound, it's like, oh yeah, we got our shit together on this deal, okay? When you go down there and they just kind of skate across the ground like a little ballerina just skates across the ice here or something, ice skater, that's not a cool feeling because they're not pushing hard. Titan feels very powerful stopping. I will say that. He's just, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like if you get, you know, a couple of years ago I had a Roush Mustang, and it had like 540 horsepower, and you could just get in that car and it would just cackle and roar, and when you put your foot on the gas, you just felt this power in that car. I got way too many speeding tickets and I almost lost my license, so I had to sell the car, okay? But goddamn, it felt good. Well, mate, thanks for watching our Titan series. Remember to check out the next episode coming soon.